All right, let's get right into it. We're talking about an absolutely epic saga, an ancient story of gods, humanity, and a catastrophe that literally changed the world. So let's start with a really provocative question. What if the Great Flood wasn't some random natural disaster? What if it was a deliberate act by the gods? Yeah, this is where our story begins, with a divine apocalyptic decision that really sets the stage for everything: betrayal, survival, and eventually war. So you have the gods, right? And they're led by the very powerful, very strict Enlil. And he gets them all to agree humanity has got to go. They make this unbreakable oath among themselves. But there's always a but, isn't there? One god, Enki, the brilliant scientist who actually had a hand in creating us, he just can't go along with it. He's about to defy them all.
So how does he do it? How do you break an unbreakable oath to the other gods? Well, Enki comes up with this incredibly clever plan. He goes to the hut of a man named Yasudra. But instead of talking to him, he speaks to the wall of the hut. See the loophole? He's technically not breaking his vow, but he's making sure the man inside hears every single word about the coming doom.
And the instructions he whispers to that wall, they are just insane. Drop everything, your life is all that matters. You need to build a boat, a submersible one that can be completely covered by the flood. And hey, while you're at it, gather the seeds of every single living thing on the planet. Oh, and one more thing. You have 7 days. Can you even imagine? Okay, so the flood happens. It's world-ending. And when the waters finally go down, the Anunnaki come down in their skyships. They're expecting total silence, a completely clean slate. And what do they find instead? The one thing that should be impossible: survivors. Not just survivors, but a man, Sudra, offering a sacrifice on a little makeshift altar. The shock must have been incredible. And when Enlil sees this, he is, well, furious doesn't even begin to cover it. He is absolutely livid. He believes his own brother, Enki, has committed the ultimate betrayal. And this moment right here, this is the core of their whole conflict. You've got Enlil, who's all about the rules. The oath is absolute. And then you've got Enki, who's driven by compassion for the very creatures he helped bring into being. It's a total standoff. So Enlil is so enraged, he's about to physically attack his brother, maybe even kill him right there. And just as he lunges, Enki drops an absolute bombshell to stop him in his tracks. He yells, "He is not a mere mortal. He is my son." Think about that. Sudra, the human survivor, is his own kid, a demigod. So Enki wasn't just saving humanity. He was saving his own family. And that changes everything. Okay, so with humanity's existence now guaranteed thanks to that shocking revelation, the Anunnaki have a whole new problem. They have to rebuild an entire planet from scratch. And, just as importantly, they have to get those vital gold shipping operations back online with their homeworld Nibiru. And you have to understand, the scale of this reconstruction was just staggering. This wasn't a small cleanup job. We're talking about massive, planet-wide infrastructure projects that took over a century and a half. They're finding new gold sources in faraway lands, building a brand new spaceport on a high plateau, setting up a mission control center. They were making Earth operational again. And the crown jewels of this whole operation were the Great Beacons. We're talking about the Great Pyramids. Now, according to this story, these weren't just tombs or monuments. No way. They were highly advanced pieces of technology. They were designed by this genius architect, Ningishzida, to be artificial mountains capped with a special stone that shone like a star, pulsing with energy to guide the starships home. And of course, when you complete a masterpiece like that, you've got to sign your name, right? Well, to commemorate this incredible achievement, they carved another wonder right next to the pyramids. They put the face of the architect himself, Ningishzida, onto the body of a lion, a monument we now know, of course, as the Sphinx. But as you might have guessed, this golden era of creation and cooperation just couldn't last. That fragile peace between the two rival families, the clan of Enlil and the clan of Enki, it's about to be shattered by the bitter, violent feuds of the next generation. And the cycle of violence kicks off within Enki's own family. It's a tragedy that sounds a lot like Cain and Abel. Marduk, Enki's eldest son, has his own child, Osiris, who is tricked, sealed in a coffin, and then thrown into the sea by his own jealous brother, Set. This single act, it just plunges the family into grief and ignites this burning desire for vengeance that will spread. You know, even in the middle of all this rising tension, there was this one glimmer of hope, a love story. Dumazid, another son of Enki, and Inanna, the powerful granddaughter of Enlil. Their love affair could have been the thing that finally united the two warring clans. But as you can probably guess, that hope was about to be tragically snuffed out.
And just like that, the hope for peace is gone. It ends in total disaster. Dumazid is manipulated by his own ambitious brother, Marduk, and gets branded a traitor. As he's fleeing from assassins, in a terrible, tragic accident, he slips near a waterfall and drowns. Another life lost to this family feud.
So, when Inanna finds out about the death of her beloved Dumuzid, it does more than just break her heart. It completely transforms her grief into this furious, all-consuming fire for revenge, and she has one person in her sights, Marduk.
And just like that, the conflict explodes. This is no longer a family squabble, it's a full-scale war. You've got the forces of Enlil's clan, led by the vengeful warrior goddess Inanna herself, and they hunt down Marduk, cornering him for one final epic showdown. So where does Marduk run? In a move full of irony, he takes refuge inside the Great Pyramid, the very beacon his own family helped create. He seals himself inside the massive, impenetrable stone structure, turning this symbol of guidance and hope into his personal fortress. But they can't get in. The pyramid is doing its job too well. So, unable to break through, a furious Inanna and her allies make a chilling decision. They decide to seal all the exits. They're going to turn the pyramid from a fortress into a tomb. The plan? Leave him inside to die of starvation and thirst, buried alive.
So there he is, Marduk, trapped in darkness, no food, no water, entombed in his own fortress. The war has reached its climax. But you have to ask, is this really justice for all his schemes? Or is it just another brutal act in this endless, destructive cycle of divine revenge?
Finally, the elder Anunnaki look at what's happening and they see their entire family is on the brink of just self-destruction. They realize this has to stop, so they call for an emergency council to try and negotiate an end to all the bloodshed. And the settlement they reach is harsh, especially for Enki's side. To save his firstborn son's life, Enki has to agree to give up a massive amount of power to Enlil's clan. So Marduk lives, but he's stripped of everything, and his biggest rival, Ninurta, is now declared the new successor to rule Earth. It's a political defeat to end a military war. But first, they have to get him out. So they call on the only one who can, Ningishzada, the original architect. He has to perform this daring, almost surgical rescue, carving a brand new, secret path deep into the pyramid to free the unconscious Marduk, just moments before his long exile begins. And so, a new order is forged from the ashes of war. But you know the tensions that started it all? They're still there, just simmering below the surface. An uneasy peace has settled. But with the great king of their home planet, Anu, planning a visit to Earth, you have to wonder, how long can this fragile peace possibly last?